Well, let's hope I make better transfers this week than I did last. Yeah, last week I took Heung-min Son out and brought in James Rodriguez. Start, I thought James Rodriguez, goal and assist, not too bad. Son went and then scored 4. So, swings and roundabouts. But this week, I'm debating taking a plunge and making 2 transfers. The plan for me was always to take Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang out of the team and replace him with one of the Manchester City players, either Kevin De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling. After a stellar opening performance, I think it can only be the Belgian playmaker Kevin De Bruyne that comes in and saves me another £0.4 million, which leaves me with 1.9 million overall. And while the opportunity is still there, I'm feeling like I'm going to take out James Ward-Prowse, who has really struggled for Southampton in the opening game weeks, and I'm going to plump for another player that I mentioned in my previous video, Wilfried Zaha, who has started off the season in sensational form, scoring 3 goals in 2 games. I'm going to sacrifice the 4 points to make this transfer and get him in at the same time. I think in a midfield of Aubameyang and Ward-Prowse is not as strong as one of Kevin De Bruyne and Wilfried Zaha. If you look at it in those terms, it's a very straightforward decision to make and one I think could well be worthwhile. So the changes are made and now it's time to select the team for this game week. And to be fair, it's one that essentially picks itself. Hugo Lloris retains his place between the sticks in Tottenham as he hosts a inconsistent Newcastle team. They start the season very well, Newcastle beating West Ham 2-0 and looking very threatening, whereas they looked absolutely impotent against Brighton. That game was at home and they will probably sit back away from home against Spurs and try to hit them on the counter again, but I see Spurs having a bit too much for them and Hugo Lloris should be on course for a clean sheet. After securing his first clean sheet last week and first bonus point, Trent Alexander-Arnold hosts Arsenal at Anfield. The right back is likely to probably concede against the Gunners, but he is also likely, as he is in every game, to provide something going forward, either an assist or something from a free kick. So therefore, he is a no-brainer to play this week. Less so about Ender Stevens. Sheffield United got off to a pretty poor start the season with a 2-0 defeat to Wolves and a 1-0 defeat to Aston Villa. However, they are taking on rivals Leeds at Bramall Lane. Form tends to go out the window when derbies come around, and even though Leeds are fantastic going forward, they are also very open to the counter-attack and to teams essentially scoring against them. Stevens provides a lot of threat down the left-hand side, so I do think that he may come back with some returns. It could be a cagey game, unlikely though, but it's still a better choice than bringing in Jamie Justin this week. And last but not least at the back is Ezri Konsa, fresh off a goal, clean sheet and all 3 bonus points in his opening game. The Villa defender was by far the best player in that game and hopefully he can continue that form as he makes the trip to Craven Cottage against struggling Fulham. Fulham did score 3 against Leeds in the last game week, however Villa are a little bit more stern defensively and probably approach the game in a different way to the way that Leeds did, and Fulham will probably try and go for it a little bit and will probably get hit on the counter-attack. Konsa is also very good at set pieces and Fulham have not exactly been the most stingent of defences so far. The midfield's where we really excel this week. Kevin De Bruyne makes his first appearance for the team as he hosts a Leicester City side that have made a very decent start to the season, but notably don't play particularly well when it comes to playing against the Big Six, or at least against Liverpool and Manchester City. After getting a goal and an assist in his first outing of the season away at Molineux, the Belgian playmaker looked imperious as always. He is, for my money, the best player in the league right now, and therefore you would expect him to do well. He played very well at home last year, averaging over 8.5 points a game. So hopefully he'll return that kind of form this week. Definitely a contender for captain. And another contender for captain is, of course, Mohamed Salah, who hosts Arsenal, has a sensational record against Anfield and also a very good record of scoring against Arsenal. So my money would at the moment be on him to be my captain, but I'm not 100%. He's made a very decent start to the season, was unlucky really not to get any kind of return against Chelsea after he tested the legs of Kepa Arrizabalaga in the last few minutes. I fancy him to get a big haul here this week. The other new signing, Wilfried Zaha, lines up against a very in-form Everton side as well, but Crystal Palace have also got 6 points from 6 so far this season, and Everton haven't looked exactly defensively solid, so I do expect the Palace to try and soak up the Everton pressure and then hit them on the counter. Wilfried Zaha is at the focus of everything that they do, and with the form he's in at the moment, I can see him having a very good game. Let's hope for some points. And the same can be said of James Rodriguez, who will also be playing in the same game. He's great from set pieces. He scored on his debut at home last week, and he looks just in sensational form. He's a cut above the rest in terms of anything that Everton can offer. he's a must-have. And then it's the budget forward lineup, which actually did quite well last week. Although Jordan Ayew was on my bench, he did rack up an assist against Manchester United and looked generally quite threatening. Missed a penalty, but he made chances for himself, and I do fancy him to potentially get something against Everton this week. Same says for Alexander Mitrovic. As good as Villa were at the back against Sheffield United, Mitrovic is maybe a little bit of a different kettle of fish to some of the forwards that Sheffield United can offer. And fresh off a 2-goal haul against Leeds, could be difficult to handle. Speaking of another man on a 2-goal haul, Danny Ings got 2 against Spurs last week as Southampton look to get their season back on track as they travel away to Burnley. Burnley notoriously are very difficult to break down, especially at home, but if there's one man that can do it at the moment, it's Danny Ings. Saints may be struggling, but he certainly isn't. He's looked lively in both games, easily their best player, and if you fancy Saints to do anything, I think it's going to come from him. So there you have it, and in terms of captaincy, my Arman is currently on Mohamed Salah, but the likelihood is that will change for Kevin De Bruyne. I have not locked this in. I don't think you can go wrong with either captaincy option. But due to his record at home and the fact that it's against Arsenal, a team he's got a very good history against, I'm plumping for Salah as it stands. So there you go. There is my team for this week. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What transfers are you going to make? Who do you think is your tip for the week? Have I done the right thing in making 2 transfers? And how did you get on in the MikeRo Munch Invitational? You haven't joined it, you say? Well, it's still not too late, although you will be a little bit behind. But make sure that you do. The link code is down in the description below, as is the like button. Well, it's not in the description below, but it's below the video. Please just like the video, share, and subscribe if you have enjoyed it. And of course, thank you very much for watching. Until I see you again, stay cool.